Saving Private Ryan not winning the Best Picture nomination. I can't even remember what year it was, but the fact that didn't win that year is absolutely confounding.
Wait, if that didn't win, what did?
Shakespeare in Love won that year. You see what I mean? Like, people don't even realise that Shakespeare in Love beat Saving Private Ryan and Thin Red Line the same year. I'd like to come into these with loads of stuff prepared to talk about, like a nice insightful point for you all for free, and I've got nothing to say here other than how on earth did Shakespeare in Love not only just win a Best Picture Oscar, but on a year that Saving Private Ryan was on? Like, it's not even got the good Fiennes brother in it. Like, what? Which one is it? Is it not Ray? It's Ralph Fiennes is the good one. Who's the other one? Glenn Fiennes or something.
I don't even know who's
Or is he
Glenn
Parking Fiennes, whatever he's called. He's absolutely hopeless. It's just him. Gwyneth Paltrow just tying her boobs down for 3 hours. And it got sued. It literally got sued for ripping off somebody's book. They had to settle out of court with some author because she was like, oh, I literally wrote a story about Shakespeare falling in love with a woman who had to pretend that she was a man so she can act in his plays, like in the middle of him doing Romeo and Juliet in Twelfth Night, and they were like, Harvey Weinstein goes, total original idea, we just did it. Yeah, it's a Weinstein film, that one, by the way. Meanwhile, Saving Private Ryan, the film you will always watch on a hungover Sunday when it's on Channel 4, nah, not that good. Not like that harrowing tale of taking one man out of the most horrible place in the world, but he won't go because his brothers are dead, yes, but his real brothers are still there. Matt Damon's one un-Matt Damon film. It didn't win the Best Oscar. A Tom Hanks movie? It genuinely blows my mind that somehow they looked at Shakespeare in Love and went, actually, you know what it is? That says something that Saving Private Ryan doesn't.
I think Steven Spielberg actually got given a special medal by the US government for that film as well, because it was so good.
What, for not murdering whoever voted at the Academy? Well done, Stevie. Good restraint, mate. Yeah. It's dreadful as well. Like, normally, I've been in position, I came in with nothing prepared for this, so I'm sorry, right? I've seen films that I like not win, like Best Picture, and I go, well, you know what it is? I can at least see what the Academy was going for there. Right, give Judi Dench Best Supporting Actress. Fine, there's no good supporting actresses in Saving Private Ryan. I'll give you that. Give Judi Dench the Oscar, then you can call Shakespeare in Love an Oscar-winning film, and then just bin it off. Like, don't give it Best Picture. It's shocking.
Blackadder did this story better. Bob.
Yeah, it's literally a Blackadder story. It's literally a story that ripped off Blackadder. It's so bad, and Saving Private Ryan's so good.
I don't know if it's the biggest Oscar snub of all time, but one that I really kind of got really emotional about and kind of sad about was for Birdman, when Michael Keaton was up for the Best Actor award. You know, like Michael Keaton, one of the true great actors of the 20th century. You know, he's been Batman and Beetlejuice, and like they're two of the most like brilliant roles ever. So there you go.
Top 5 Michaels all time.
Exactly, and you know, Birdman, amazing film. I think we can all agree on that. And when it came to the ceremony, he was up against Eddie Redmayne for The Theory of Everything. Gets to the point in the ceremony, and you know, the hype around Birdman is palpable. I think the director won Best Director that year as well, yeah. And so everyone's like, oh, could Keaton get the prize this year? Could this year finally be his year? And when they read out the names, and they went, the Oscar goes to, you can actually see him like pull out a bit of paper. And then when they go, Eddie Redmayne for The Theory of Everything, and it goes like that, and he's just there like... And I've honestly never been more heartbroken, not just because Michael Keaton is a fantastic actor, but because Eddie Redmayne only has one performance, and it's where he does this on camera for 90 minutes. That is literally all he does. He just quivers his lip over and over again in every single film that he's in. It's just not good. But yeah, Eddie Redmayne as just, I don't like Eddie Redmayne. Just he gives the same performance in everything he does. Fantastic beast. He just looks at things and goes, ooh. In Theory of Everything, he did. Oh no, Michael Keaton much better.
What's the one that came out just before? It came out after Theory of Everything.
Jupiter Ascending.
Yes, and everyone was like, Jesus, this is a performance so bad it might actually stop him getting an Oscar for another film. It didn't though, did it?
No. He was that the Danish Girl that he won that year as well. Either way, Eddie Redmayne just isn't Michael Keaton.
He won a Danish Girl?
No, he won for his role in The Danish Girl.
Do it
again. The quiver.
Did the Redmayne.
Just the... That is all he does. That's all he does.
It's like he's in the room.
Right, what I was going to pick for this is I was going to say Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street because he had to end up basically nearly killing himself to win an Oscar later on in his life. But then I watched Dallas Buyers Club for the first time with Matthew McConaughey a few weeks ago when I was off work ill, and I could really relate to that. So, you know, that made my mind up about that one. So instead, I'm just going to get angry about the fact that The King's Speech won an Oscar for Best Picture in, I think, 2011. So it would have been for when it was released in 2010. Because it's a fine film about a bloke who has a bit of a stutter. I mean, I can only care a certain amount about that for 2 hours, I'll be honest. I don't care how famous you are. But you look at the list of other films that were nominated for Best Picture, and almost all of them should have probably beaten it. You've got The Social Network, which is a brilliant film. It's one of those films you watch almost once every year because it's just a fantastic all-round body of work. That you've got True Grit, which I think is quite an underrated film, to be honest. It's recreation. What was the first year the film came out?
69.
A recreation of a real classic film there. You've got the bloke. Oh, my arm's bloody stuck. 127 hours. That's really enjoyable. You've got Black Swan, which is obviously a classic from back then. You've got Inception, you know, sort of dreaming all about, you know. Exactly. That's another great film. And you've got the film that I probably think should have won, I think, perhaps, which is The Fighter. Okay, I need you, Charlene, and I need you. Okay, I'm the one who's fighting here, not you, and not you. A classic film, some stellar performances. Basically, all of them.
Is that your Mark Wahlberg?
Hey, it's not. It's my Mark Wahlberg as the boxer. I'm the one who's fighting here, not you, and not you. You try it.
What?
Put them next to each other.
No.
Yeah. Look, any of those should have won ahead of a bloke who can't say words properly.
So, Ashley,
Yes.
I think that there were two egregious Oscar snubs in 2006 and 2007. Both quite similar films, actually, in terms of tone compared to the things that actually won. In 2006, Little Miss Sunshine did not beat The Departed. The Departed is a very good film and has a very good swear in it, which is always good for the Oscars. But it wasn't as good as Little Miss Sunshine, which is it's got much more depth, and I like sad films a little bit, sad, happy films, and that one is one. But the real snub that gets to me still, to this very day, is the year after, 2007, when Juno didn't beat There Will Be Blood.
Oh, what a film.
I know,
Both good films.
I know, yeah, There Will Be Blood is a really good film and has a really good performance by Daniel Day-Lewis, and like, I'm not going to complain about him winning things because it's great. Paul Dano's really good in it as well. But Juno was like something else. It came along and it like sort of defined its own genre immediately and gave us Ellen Page, who was a joy. But the thing about the film, which to me puts it above There Will Be Blood, is it goes from being like this little quirky teen romance to being about something much bigger than that. And it has pretty much the saddest moment in any film that's even tried to be in the same genre, right at the end. So you get this whole story of her wanting to not have a baby, basically trying to shop it around and stuff like that as she tries to get laid, which is the most simple version of the film and doesn't make it sound like it's very good. And then at the end, she gives birth, and Cat Power's version of Sea of Love cover comes on at that time, and it's the most devastating thing I've ever seen in any film, I think. I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's really quite sad, and I can't, the best testament to any sad moment in a film or any emotional moment in a film is if you hear the music outside of that film, you're immediately taken back to that moment. And I can't listen to that song, any version of that song, without thinking she had to give her baby up. And I've got a little baby, and sometimes I want to give him up, but I would be very sad too.
Biggest one, it's the most recent one, it's La La Land over Moonlight. Because obviously Moonlight's a great film, Barry Jenkins is a great director, you know, that year the competition was stacked. But La La Land, in my eyes, practically invented love.
You know, love didn't exist before La La Land, it invented it. We should time our history as pre-La La Land and post-La La Land, because that's when we really, you know, we embraced emotions, we embraced Emma Stone, we embraced Ryan Gosling. Have you seen a better cinematic pair than those two? No, you haven't, have you? Both of those should have won. This film was a proper tour de force. It was everything the Academy wanted at the time as well, which is why it was genuinely a big snub. It had been sweeping up prior to the actual Oscars itself, and it has everything that the Academy loves. It has old Hollywood. It's a musical. It's got great leads. James Hetfield's looking in, and he's going to be editing this. It has everything the Academy should love. It's an old Hollywood musical. It's like a love letter to Hollywood itself and LA and actors. It's an actor's movie. And yet it didn't win, and that's fine. But it is all justified, because the moment when Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway got on that stage and they opened it up and they announced, oh, La La Land, and my heart was raised. The past 4 hours had been worth it. I thought, yes, this film has won, and I love it. But it didn't though, did it? It didn't at all, because then it was announced that there was the biggest mix-up in Oscar history. They'd announced the wrong film. Literally, it's a dead meme, but they had one job and they messed it up. But the look on Jordan Horowitz, I think, who was the producer of La La Land, when he realized, oh no, there's been a mix-up, Moonlight's won. It was said with, you know, no one's gonna encounter that situation and do it well. You don't realize that you've lost, and then you suddenly just, you know, accept it with grace. You're a bit contemptuous. You're a bit like, oh, well, screw Moonlight. So the way he said it, the sort of subtle passive-aggressive venom in which he announced that he'd actually lost, was both hilarious and the best banter of all time, but also sank my heart deeply. So I don't really know where I stand on it. It is the biggest snub, in my opinion, at least in recent years, because I love La La Land, but at the same time, for the pure joy of the crack in the time, after 4 hours of this hellish, lavish award ceremony, it was kind of worth it. So I've sort of talked myself into this actually being a good thing now. There we go.
There we go.